Why don't they just?
So we just given up on the music entirely. It's just Ben and his little toy. Is what we're doing now.
Oh,
It's fine with me. It works.
yeah, it's fine with me. I wonder if our Discord can even hear that. Discord, can you guys hear when he does the voice stuff? I hope that they. Okay, good, they can. Because otherwise, it'd be really weird if they just hear Ben going, "Why don't they just?"
His non-auto-tuned voice.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's totally my natural voice.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know I was co-hosting with T-Pain over here. So speaking of Discord, this came from Discord. This is from Andrew Harland. It says, well, first it says, "Hi everyone, I'm new." Welcome, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew. By the way, I read it totally wrong. I read it as Andrew Warland, and I thought you just mispronounced
Andre
it.
Warland.
Yeah, Andre Warland. Yeah, maybe.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Makes sense to me. But he says, why don't they just use the ring segments from Starship to make the tunnel for Hyperloop, since they can make them quick and cheap on site with supports, possibly. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I got some thoughts.
Are they even doing Hyperloop? I haven't heard anything about that in a while.
I'm sorry. So make the tunnel for Hyperloop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll go ahead and say I think there's definitely some lessons they can learn, and maybe even supply chain stuff that they could utilize if Tesla pursues Hyperloop. I think you're right. I don't even know or are they just?
I thought it was like an open source kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody was competing for it.
Yeah, they still have that. I mean, you guys, I go up there kind of often to Hawthorne, and they still have the tunnel right there. I mean, so it exists. And every year they have a competition from colleges and stuff like that. I don't know that the challenge is making the tunnel cheap. I don't know if that's like a problem that you need to solve. I think that the hard part is like turning it into a vacuum and sending a thing through it at a gazillion miles an hour.
Yeah.
Or a gazillion 0.6 kilometers an hour.
But yeah, I mean, I guess, Tim, is there any reason why they couldn't use? I mean, I imagine it's strong enough if it can. I think it's. I don't know what it's made out of now, but it's
actually, I don't know if it would be strong enough to do a vacuum. You'd have to have it like right now. Stainless steel. It balloons out. It's at 3 bar. I don't know how well something like that without ribbing would do in a vacuum, because it would be opposite forces. And
yeah.
So actually, Soccerman12 UK responded in Discord and said that he believes that the structural strength comes from being pressurized, where the Hyperloop, they would be near a vacuum. So it's the opposite.
The opposite, yeah.
And it takes a lot to hold 100% vacuum. You got to have some thick, I mean, it's crazy. Have you ever seen the rapid decompression of like an oil tanker that where just instantly just is gone. It just disappears basically because of depressurization, or whatever, however you want to say that. Vacuumization. Yeah. I think, I really think, I don't think those two things would cross over, but some of the manufacturing processes, some of the lessons learned, maybe some of the welding techniques, some of that stuff could cross-pollinate. But I think 9 meters wide is too big. Also, it's too big it's not the same size as the boring, tunnel. If they wanted to keep it uniform, I think they'll just end up with something fairly different.
Yeah, and so when I first read the question, that's what I thought was the boring tunnel, which we do have a bit of news about. But I thought, well, yeah, there's no way that's strong enough. But Hyperloop is a pretty different thing than the boring tunnel. So, yeah, like to build the boring tunnel, you have to actually, it's like concrete. It's like a massive, super heavy kind of structure that they're building inside of there. It's not just like, a piece of metal.
Right.
So,
yeah. So my question is, and maybe you know this, Tim, the ring segments, I think that's kind of the crux of what he was asking. Like, they already have these ring segments, they could just use them. Are they arriving at Boca Chica in ring segments, or is it just like
a flat sheet?
And then they, okay.
Yep. They roll it in one of the tents.
So then that doesn't really, I don't know. My take is that doesn't really help with their supply chain if it would have to like go through Boca Chica and then wherever it is that they're building a tunnel or wherever it is that they're doing the Hyperloop.
Right. I could see a Hyperloop. We talked about the spiral ring welding thing. That could be more useful for a boring company thing, where you could just have a tube and just make it keep going and shape it as it goes and weld it as it goes. And I don't think that is actually how I don't remember the boring tunnel, because there's a full like 1/4 mile or 400 meter long at least. It's a pretty long stretch. It might even be like a full mile stretch out at Hawthorne. The test.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Is
Is
that what you're
that
talking
spiral or is that ring segments? I don't really remember. And I'm not talking about the boring company. I was talking about the Hyperloop track.
Oh, sorry.
But still, yeah.
Yeah, the Hyperloop track at Hawthorne looks like a Falcon 9 does. Like it's like a giant singular piece of tube, and then they have like flanges connecting the next segment.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not like Boring Company or anything. So yeah, different animal. Yeah, I don't know.
A Hyperloop is spiral welded. When you look at it. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Now the funny thing about it though is like, is Hyperloop ever going to be a thing? It sounds cool as a science experiment, but Elon was proposing it in addition to the high-speed rail that they wanted to build in California, which is just never going to happen, not in my lifetime, because of California. But that was the idea, was that it would be different. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, I never noticed that.
I think that's just a giant straw.
It is just a giant straw.
But yeah, but that was the idea behind Hyperloop, is that it would replace the California high-speed rail. And then Boring Company got involved a little bit of like, oh, you could put the Hyperloop tunnel in the Boring Company. Like Legos, this thing in here and blah. And you're like, every engineer is screaming like, no. Like none of that's going to work. So I don't know. Is Hyperloop ever going to be a thing?
I don't know.
I say right now it's just like a proof of concept, but
it would be cool if they could do it. I mean, imagine if you could travel on ground at double the speed of an airplane with zero emissions, safety improved, although airplanes are incredibly safe. Things like that. Like there would be some benefit. Maybe cost would be a good benefit. Because I think they had talked about going from San Francisco to LA in 30 minutes on a Hyperloop. Which is pretty amazing. That's a good chunk of ground. I mean, it's faster than a plane. And if you can board and deboard in quick fashion because you don't have to deal with, airplane security and things, then go for it. Yeah, that's cool.
I would hope they have some kind of security.
Right.
Yeah, but it'd be like boarding a train. Trains don't really have security.
But I would imagine if someone were to do something destructive on a Hyperloop, it'd be pretty
going
catastrophic
1,000 miles an hour
along the entire route potentially.
Same is true for a train. If you derail a train, it's not good news for anyone.
So in other words, you're bringing up
you're
the security
advocating
issues
for...
of trains and. No, I felt that way. I rode the Long Island train one time, and I remember just being like, "Wait, I can just get on this?
Yeah,
like, I just get on it."
Yeah.
They don't need to
well,
check
because
anything?
I can't like fly a train into a building, right? I can't like direct where it goes. And the vast
not with
majority,
that attitude.
I mean, my son's TV shows do have trains that fly, so I don't know. Like there's Thomas the Train Rescuer now who like rescues people, and you're like, how are you a train? Like there has to be a track.
You're setting up such unreal expectations for kids.
I know. And then we go take him on a real train, and he's like, this thing sucks. I'm like, yeah, duh, because TV isn't real. Okay, everything you know is a lie. Okay.
Oh.
In my day, we had very realistic things like Scooby-Doo.
Hey, thanks for checking us out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this clip from our podcast.
We do a weekly show here on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe to Our Ludicrous Future, where we discuss all the things that are going to make our future totally ludicrous.
You can join us here on YouTube or at any of your favorite podcast places. Plus, if you want to get some behind-the-scenes stuff and join a cool community, you can help support the channel at patreon.com. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.